Hello, everyone, and welcome to this audio podcast. This Synopsis, this audio podcast Synopsis is part of a Phantom Edition. This audio podcast Synopsis is part of a Labostix Machina. This audio podcast Synopsis as part of a Vertex Relay. This audio podcast as part of a Storm Labostix production. In this audio podcast series, there will be a sort of a plan to look at sort of abstracts, abstracts as part of sort of works, as part of sort of peer-reviewed and published works, but where this audio podcast series will look at abstracts in regard to works such as looking at coping in young people with chronic kidney disease, coping in young people with chronic kidney disease in around, excuse me, in regard to works from from 2015 2016, looking at works looking at sort of works an abstract in regard to healthcare scientists and primary care, looking at sort of an abstract in regard to a systematic review from 2020, and looking at an abstract in regard to works from 2022, and in regard to the and works in regard to the role of endogenous opioids in ischemic preconditioning, and abstract in regard to polypharmacy and the influence on renal insufficiency in around from an abstract from around 2022, and looking at an abstract from as part of this series on bridging gaps between pediatric and adult bridging gaps between pediatric and adult nephrology, and an abstract from 2022, and also sort of finally, as part of this series, looking at an abstract in regard to as part of works from an abstract from sort of an updated abstract from works from in around 2000 and 2000 and in around 2011, around 2011 2012, and where the abstract had where the abstracts in regard to works on online space, and looking at online space and chronic kidney disease awareness, sort of a retrospective, and where the abstract had been sort of recently, or had been updated in around sort of early 2024, and so that draws this synopsis to a close. This audio podcast synopsis as part of a Phantom Edition. This audio podcast as part of a Labostix Machina. This audio podcast as part of a Vertex Relay, and this audio podcast as part of the Abstracts, and this audio podcast as part of a Storm Labostix production.